Now, you'll notice on your site that you have a button on your menu here called Forms. So I'm going to just go ahead and click on that. And really, the whole idea here is that, everything's centralized in one place, but at the same time, it's filtered down based on the user that's logged in. Okay, and also the group that this form is assigned to. So as an admin, you'll see all of the forms on your site here. Okay, but let's say as a parent, the idea is that they're only seeing the forms that pertain to them and to their groups more specifically. So even though we only have one place here for forms and for calendar, this page is actually dynamic in the sense that it's changing all the time. Okay, not for you guys as the admins, but for the parents or for the staff. Depending on who's logged in and what they should and shouldn't be seeing. And I'll take you through all of those settings. So the very first thing that we're going to do is actually create a brand new form together, okay, just from scratch. So the first thing we want to do is navigate to the dashboard. And so we're going to look for forms. So, let's say we're making a field trip form. And then, so once you name your form, you can just click Create Form. And so after you do that, it'll take us into a new page, which is actually the form editor or the form builder, if you want to call it that. Is basically like a drag and drop editor here. And so there's two ways to get the field into your form, which is over here. So one, you can just click on it. So if I click on name, there it is. It appears right there. So the other way is to actually just drag and drop. So if I take address field, I can just drag it in. Oops, and so it looks like it went on top, which is great because I actually want it underneath. So I can show you how easy it is to just drag and reorder as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and build this form. Maybe you don't want the address field in a field trip form, for example, but for training purposes, I'm just going to use our most common fields here. Okay, and I'm just going to click on these as I go. And then I'll fill you in on what these fields actually do, what their purpose is. Okay, so we've got single line text, paragraph text. I'm going to add in a drop down here, as well as buttons. And I'm also going to use this section field. I'm going to drag it right up to the top here, show you guys what that is. And one thing I won't go over, but I just want to fill you in on this, is the page field here. So if you have a really lengthy form, this one's going to be fairly short, but when you do have those long forms, you want to break them up. That's where this page field comes into play. So basically you can break the form into, let's say, 5 different pages. And as the parents are going through each page, you'll see a status bar at the top letting them know, what page is at in the form, how much is left to be completed. Okay. So let's finish off with some other fields here. I think we've got everything we need. I'm just going to go ahead and add a signature field at the bottom. And by the way the signature field works is that parents can sign digitally with their finger if they're on a mobile tablet or phone. And if they're on the computer, they can use their trackpad. If they're on a laptop or if they're on a desktop computer, they can actually use the mouse to sign. So they're definitely not limited in how you can sign. So now let's go back up to the top, and I'm just going to take you through these fields here. So first we've got the section field here. Personally, I like to use this just to break up the field into sections. So for example, you can parent information section, student information section, or you can actually use it to display just general information as well. And by the way, on any field, you can click on it, expand. I will give you more options. So move the field label here. Okay, this is just another way you can use this field, and actually, I'm going to use it as a description. So now this won't get sent out as a notification by email, but it will exist as just some general information on this form when they click on it. So if there's anything to keep in mind, or if there's any instructions on how to fill out the form, you can always add that in a description field. So there's our information. It's going to appear right at the top. So any field you can expand on. So if I just click in, we've got more, options right here. We also have the description field, which you can find in most of the fields. However, something like a name, obviously, you wouldn't need a description. It's pretty self-explanatory. This could say parent name or student name, whatever it is. Address, not much to know there. I mean, if you open it up, you'll see you can make, like the default your country, and you can also edit the labels here for those. Okay, phone would just be, they would enter their phone number. It's already pre-formatted, so you don't have to touch that. Okay, email. So here's one that's interesting. So single line text. So this is a really versatile field because it can really be used in so many different situations. And one of them, let's say, so this is a field form. So let me open this up. You even use this for a name. Let's just say, chaperone name, or you could say classroom, right? So it doesn't matter what it label field right here. And so this here, paragraph text is almost exactly the same. The only difference is that there's more room. Okay, so it's still a custom field, and we can name it anything we want, right? So if you want, you can do it like that, and the parents can just write off a list there. Okay, underneath, so I've added a drop down. Again, pretty self-explanatory, but the only thing to consider is the label. So this could be select your classroom, and of course, then you put the options in underneath. You can always add or subtract the options down below here just by clicking on the plus or minus. And so something else that I wanted to mention, you'll notice this on every field actually, is that you can set a field to be required. So let me just reopen this one again. So at the bottom here, you'll see there's a required field. So if I check that off, what happens is you'll see a little red star here as well. But what happens is now if a parent or anyone really tries to submit this form and they don't select a class, it will actually pull up a message saying, hey, you forgot to select, your classroom. So, so basically, we don't recommend putting this on all fields, but what you want to do is, pick a few fields that are that have key pieces of information, and then what you can do is just make them required. So that way, you're ensuring that the forms aren't being submitted without all the information that you need. All right, we're almost done here with our building this form. So this one's called radio buttons, one of my personal favorites, and it seems to be really user-friendly as well. So it's really the exact same as a drop-down, it just visually looks different, okay? We can also subtract right here, get rid of that one, and on this, it actually has an other choice that we can enable. The user can actually fill in and input their own information. Okay, let's go ahead and use that. So I'm pretty happy with this form now. What you want to do is click Update Form. And the very first time you click that, so I'm about to do it right now, it will actually publish the form right on to your Forms page. And there it is.